March 23rd, 1991. It's Saturday and raining, so our company field day has been canceled, along with the day's activities. I am feeling as if every day spent here is just wasted days of my life. Nothing to accomplish, no gains, just losses in morale and health. I want to take a minute to talk about this. I truly believe that a lot of veterans and people in general have this feeling in their lives. Either they're not satisfied with their jobs, or they don't find satisfaction in their relationship or with their spouse or partner. And they're just going through the motions. And when they look back, or when I look back at this, it was just wasted time. Nothing to accomplish, no purpose. And it was really a difficult period for me, especially because there was so much uncertainty in the future and where I would go and what I would do. And it was really hard. And I know that a lot of people feel that way in their lives. And there's no easy solution. There was no solution for me when I was in Desert Storm. And I just had to grind it out every day. I'm trying to work out, but cannot find motivation to stick with it. These conditions aren't that bad. It's just the not knowing of when we are leaving Camp 15 and home. I have never really felt homesick since I have been in the Corps, because I really never had anything at home besides family. No steady girlfriend, no best friend. Now my need to go home is one for a new start, a clean sheet. I want to start over and do things right this time. I want to talk a little about my childhood. And my parents were divorced, and my mother was married 3 times and my dad was married 3 times. So for me, my childhood was it was difficult, and I grew up with my grandparents predominantly, and they did a great job, but they were grandparents, and it was different. And so I never really had the chance to make a lot of friends and do the normal things that, kids do, because growing up with my grandparents, it was different. So when I joined the Marine Corps, it was a way for me to have a new start, a fresh life. And, after Desert Storm, it was my opportunity to reflect and look back and say, okay, I'm going to go, carpe diem, seize the day. I'm going to start my life over. I'm going to go home, and I want to do things differently. I want to start over. And I believe that a lot of veterans have similar feelings. They do their time in the Marines or in the Army or the Navy or in the Air Force, and it's a great opportunity, and they have a lot of fun. But when that deployment ends, or when their tour ends, now they're faced with the reality of going home and starting over, or a new chapter in their lives. And it's a very difficult time. And that was a very difficult time for me, but I was very optimistic about it. And I believe that the things that happened to me on the deployment were shaped, they shaped me in a positive way, because I wanted to put everything behind me and I wanted to start over. Today's news, our latest and best so far. We will be leaving for Camp 15 tomorrow. It will be a rotation of companies for 10 days each. I am feeling better, but not really. I think the only time I will really be happy is on my final departure back to the US and out of the Corps. I haven't spoken with Belinda in over a week, so my concern now is, will I get laid at Camp 15? Let's hope this doesn't change, as the past word has. Only time will tell. Going back to Camp 15 was the first step in the journey home, and I couldn't wait to get there. And for me, putting the things with Ashley and Mike behind me and seeing Belinda, it was my kind of source of joy, or happiness, or I don't really know how to explain it, but it was the thing that I was looking forward to. It gave me hope. It gave me a reason to be positive. And I understand that looking back, and when I talk about what happened with Belinda, how I felt that way and why I felt that way. But this journal entry really captures a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about in the future episodes and how they played out. But I think the most important thing for me with this journal entry and looking back at it is how I believe a lot of veterans face deployments, and they face their time when they leave the service, and how that has a huge impact on them. And not many veterans talk about it, and not many veterans share their experiences with regard to their departure. But it is a very difficult transition period in their lives, and it was a very difficult transition period for me. And I hope that people understand and relate what veterans go through when they have a family, and they have their experiences, and they have their deployments where they face adversity and hardship together, and then it's all gone in a minute. It's really hard to capture in words how it just in an instant is gone. And you have your memories, and you have your photos that you take, and you have, for me, a journal that I can look back on. But aside from that, there's really not much, and you just move forward. And I hope that people will watch this and understand what veterans deal with when they come back from deployment, or when they come back from, when they depart the military, because it is a very difficult time for them, and it was a very difficult time for me. Anyway, I want to read one more journal entry, and then I'll stop, and this will really set the scene for the next podcast. March 26, 1991. I am back at Camp 15 now. It is hard to explain, but in a weird way, I felt strange leaving our little combat zone. Now we are safe and sound, getting everything straightened out. I don't know why I felt it, or if anyone else felt it, but it was there for a little while. What is ahead for us, I have no idea. When we leave, only rumors, so my situation is the same, but in a better location. As for Belinda, I can only hope for the best. All I want is laid for now, but I have mixed emotions about the future. I think the most important part of this journal entry is how I felt when I left our little combat zone and we moved back to Camp 15. And when I thought about this, I really had to talk about the podcast. And I know that a friend of mine, Matt, asked me if I script these podcasts, or if I record them, or if I take notes. And I really don't. I just want to read the journal entries and talk about what's on my mind. But I really, when I did this podcast, I taped it, I watched it, and it didn't capture the message that I really wanted to capture in it. And so really what I want to talk about is how I felt when we left our little combat zone and we came back to Camp 15. And I thought about Afghanistan, and I thought Iraq, and I thought about my other deployments. And I can say that each deployment that I did, it felt weird. You kind of create your own home in these deployments, and you have your friends and your family. And then when you leave, there's a part of you that stays there. And there's an expression that a lot of Afghans, well, it was an Afghan expression, once you get the sand under your fingernails, you can never get rid of it. And I believe that for myself, every deployment that I went on in Iraq and Desert Storm and Afghanistan, there was a piece of me that was left there. And there's a piece of Afghanistan and Iraq that came home with me. And I don't believe that many people realize what they left there or what they take back with them. And it's only when I look back at my deployments and when I read the journal do I realize how much it impacted me, and how much I left a piece of me there, and I took back with me things that will always be under my fingernail. Anyway, the next episode is going to talk about what happens with Belinda, and it's pretty shocking, and it sets the tone for the rest of the podcast. And really, allows me to introduce these critical life lessons that I can't wait to share with everybody. So hopefully this helped anybody who is a veteran or anyone who's deployed, and understand that you're not alone. Right? The things that you experience, the feelings that you have, they're not uncommon. Most veterans share them or have them, but we're afraid to share them, or we don't talk about them, or don't know how to talk about them. So hopefully this podcast will be a catalyst to help you understand and realize and manage the things that happen to you on deployments or in combat. And anyway, until the next episode, thank you for tuning in and your support, and really love the questions that I get. And I can't wait to share the next episode with you.